type 3 question, that is the title question. So in the previous lecture, we have covered the first type of question and the second type of question, that is the main idea question and the primary purpose question. Now we will be discussing about the title question. So what do we mean by title question? By title question, we mean the appropriate title, the appropriate heading that the author expects the students, the readers to select from. So how can this question be asked? This question can be asked like most appropriate title for the passage, select the most suitable title for the passage from the given following, and obviously the students have to select the title which is around the central idea of the passage. So the next category of question is structure and organization. So structure slash organization is the pattern that the author follows to convey his notion about the given subject. So examples of such question can be which of the following best describes the organization of the passage. The structure of the passage can be outlined as. The question may also refer to a particular paragraph of the passage. Which of the following best describes the organization of the first paragraph of the passage? One function of the third paragraph is to. So basically here, if this type of question, the structure organization question, can come for type 3 passage when the length of the passage is up to 500 or more than 500 words. Okay, so there are different paragraphs and there's an opening paragraph, then the body, and then the conclusion. So the students have to be very careful while attempting these questions. Now, the fifth type of question category is factual based, also called as fact based, specific detail, or target question. So these questions intend to ask you to identify the correct, incorrect facts or answer the direct questions based on the factual data mentioned in the passage. Example of these type of questions include, according to the passage states that which of the following is true false, which dash has not been cited as according to the author, what is according to the passage, what is which factor has not been cited. So these are the target specific question. So it can be asked by fill in the gap method, or it can also be asked by asking the specific numbers, the names, data, okay, statistical data in this way. So the students need to be very like underline as soon as they say any factual data. So in general, out of the given questions in the passage, you may find one or two questions that are asked on the factual data. The sixth category of question is inference questions. So inference are indirect conclusion of the passage. They are not directly stated in the passage. Example, it can be inferred from the passage, it cannot be inferred from the passage. So sometimes it may be the case that the author is trying to ask what is the inference, and at times it could be that the author is trying to ask what is not been inferred. Okay, so how will this person ask the question? The passage uses dash to imply that. What can be inferred when the author states the sentence dash implies that. Okay, this question can also be constructed from a specific portion of the passage. So here, these are the most tricky questions. Like out of the previous questions that we have seen, like central idea, essential message, then the title-based question, inferences are not directly mentioned in the passage, and therefore, as the level of complexity increases for competitive examination or the recruitment tests for MNCs companies or service-based companies, aptitude preparation, so inference questions are asked. And here the trick is you have to always remember, if you find any statement from the passage, that is not the answer, because inference statements are never present in the passage. They are to be derived, they are to be removed. Okay, so inference questions are not directly stated in the passage. Moving ahead to the seventh category of question, that is must be true questions. So when we say must be true questions, these refer to the direct and the logical conclusions that follow from the passage. Means what? Obviously, here the author has given some facts and he wants the readers, the candidates to validate that. So, the ways in which this question can be asked is according to the passage, which one must be true? According to the passage, which one must be false? It's not that always he's interested in the truth of the statement. It also may be the case that he may check the false aspect of the statement also. So, third way is according to the passage, which one of the following would the author agree with? According to the passage, which one of the following would the author disagree with? This question type can be constructed from a specific paragraph instead of whole passage. Okay, so these are the questions which come into the category of must be true, and therefore, in order to answer this question, the readers, while reading the comprehension, should understand what is the truth of the statement or the truth of the passage the author trying to speak. It may be the case that you find something as false, okay, or you find something as true, but it has been sugar coated in the passage. You are not expected to write your point of view here. You are expected to answer the question based on the author's point of view. So here there is a very requirement that there might be a confusion. You get confused with the actual data versus the data that is mentioned in the passage. You don't have to put your emotions into it while answering. Whatever is mentioned in the passage from the author's perspective, you have to answer it based on that. Okay, so the next category of question is paraphrase questions. So these questions essentially ask you to explain the meaning of a particular statement in other words or in different words than that given in the passage. Paraphrase refers to express the same message in different words, rewording for the purpose of clarification. So it could be, as you have seen, for a particular statement, like example, consider the following extract can be paraphrased as, or you have dash can be written as. So these are the questions which are based on the paraphrase, and here you require some knowledge of English. Okay. So the next category of question is the vocabulary question. So these questions basically aim to test your vocabulary, ask you meaning of words, of a phrase, synonym or opposite of the word. The contextual meaning of the word hold more importance here. So example like synonyms may be asked. You may be asked the meaning of some words, or in the sentence, like identify the meaning of the word in the given context, or from the passage, the paraphrase refers to. It may be the point that you may also be asked about the idioms and phrases. Okay, so I think by now vocabulary questions get you have got what is the vocabulary questions, like either meanings or the opposites in simple words or the paraphrases or the idioms. Okay, so while you are solving this passages, out of these 9 categories, the students, the candidates are expected to read the question first while solving the passage. Okay, before reading the passage, the students are expected, in order to speed up or in order to do well or answer accurately, it's always advisable that you first read the questions. And if you have an idea of the category of question, it will be very easy for you to point out where the answer may come in the passage. Therefore, in the coming session, okay, in the coming session, that is the part 2, we will be seeing how to solve these passages by considering some example. I hope from this lecture series, that is the part 2, what we have discussed, the students have got an idea about the different categories of questions. Okay, and here it is important that you strike a fine balance. Okay, it is important you keep a number of things in your mind and ensure that you do not fall into common pitfalls. So with regards to the approach, you should adopt reading comprehensions. Keep the following points in mind. That is, categorize the questions when you read it. Okay, try to look for hints in the passage, and then it will be very easy. One important point that the student should note here is make a habit of underlining the words. Okay, it may be the case when you are also underline the words not only while reading the passages but while reading the questions also. So the strategy here I would rather say is first identify the passage category. What domain does it belong to? History, geography, polity, international relations. After that, is it a short passage? Is it a type 1, type 2, type 3? And after you identify that, read the questions. After reading the questions, jump to the passage and try to answer that. While answering, also have a wide eye open on the category of question. Is it central idea? Is it inference? Is it vocabulary? So that it will be very easy for you. So I hope, dear students, you have understood that in this coming session, we will try to solve the passages, and I'll be sharing with you some tricks based on the trap words which will help you solve the comprehension. So till then, thank you.